snacks.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. Sinners in the building.
What's happening?
Jokes late again.
Yeah.
It's happening. Trending topics. Jokes is late again. You are now tuned into Cutscenes, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in video games. Because cutscenes are
the best part of the game.
Say it with your code 45.
Always.
Is anybody in the chat who knows what code 45 is? I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. Sin?
Come on, there. Tony gotta know what that is.
Who you think knows?
Tony?
Yeah, definitely. He definitely knows. Yeah. And yeah. Jokes being late is definitely trending. That's a real thing.
He was late to our Friday night gaming session.
Hey, listen.
I was in there for like an hour by myself.
That's a long time.
Hey.
That's a long time.
Just me and Overwatch.
Said Billy D. That's facts.
There you go.
It's facts. No. Not Breath of the Wild 2 on Xbox. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. They was just expecting it to be out last year. That's all. We'll get to that. We gonna get to that. I see you. I like that. Jump the whole gun. You know what I mean? Jump the broomstick, jump the gun, do it all.
Right.
What's up, Frosty? What's tomorrow, Frosty? You play Breath of the Wild for 48 minutes and quit. I'm not mad at you. It's not as good as everybody says it is. It's okay. Okay, wait. I'm gonna hold on. Let me retread that.
Okay.
The game's cool. It's not a great Zelda game. Period. There are at least 3 Zelda games better than that I can think of right now.
What up, Ty?
What's up, Ty? Hey, listen, Ty. We told Joe he was gonna replace him with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you on time now, and he's late. So I don't know if y'all did a Freaky Friday thing or what. Not a day when you're gonna do something weird. What kind of response is that? What does that mean?
She's on May 7th.
What up, Marcus? I will fight her. What is going on?
Apparently, he took issues with that.
Because it's all caps. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me being yelled at?
Oh, yeah, you're definitely being yelled at.
I don't know. Hey, Ty, you chuckling, but we probably really said it to him. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, we've been ready to replace him on Outriders.
Oh, my gosh. Now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's stepping it up with Outriders.
Frosty said, bring it on. Hey, Frosty, why when you say bring it on, you ain't do that in all caps? See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? What's that kind of heat? It's not the best Zelda. And if the weapons weren't so damn fragile, the game would be better. And that's a fact.
Yeah. That's the one thing that drove me crazy about the game.
Hey, Frosty, have you seen the movie Bring It On? The original Bring It On?
She'll know what you're talking about.
I know, man.
Come on, Dad. She don't know what you're talking about.
See? All caps. See? You in there now. You say you keep talking that trash. Wait till we axe throw and see how it goes. I see challenges coming. Oh, man. Hey, bro, listen. I don't have the lower Chronos. I have the foot gear. But I don't think I have the foot gear. I have the gloves. I have the chest piece. I don't have the helmet or the lower body hat. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm pretty sure this is. Frosty said, oh, yeah? Like, she ain't. Frosty. All right. So, Ty, here's what I think your issue is. There is legendary gear that is locked behind a wall based on whether or not you have completed all of the expeditions. So right now, if you, my man Marcus said he maxed out in Outriders. All right, listen, Marcus, tonight, what do you want, PC, Marcus? I thought you said you on Xbox too.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But I'm just double checking so I know if we gotta have like a specific code or whatever to jump in and run. We looking to run. You know what I mean?
What up, Domingo?
Yeah. So here's what I have managed to figure out. There are certain legendary gear that only unlocks for your legendary gear pool after you have completed all of the expeditions. You're on PS5 right now playing. Okay, that's cool. So we get all right. So after the show's over, you know what I'm saying, we'll get with you, we'll message or whatever. You jump in Discord with us or something. We'll just, you know what I mean, we'll figure something out because we got some running to do. And who knows what Joe's gonna do. So
right.
Hey, Cuddy said he can run tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow, maybe after Twitch, because we run a second extinction.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I just hope
that
it's stable. I'm so looking forward to that.
After second extinction, Saturday I'll be on, but it'll probably be late. Ty say he's available. See, this is what I'm talking about. See all these people.
This is why the 3-player joint drives me crazy.
It's garbage.
Like, come on, now we actually have a squad, but we're only reduced to 3 players.
We do. We have to have a discussion about that. But they've had enough issues that I don't know if they need. By the way, if you all Outriders have not logged in today, so they did do a patch yesterday to fix people who had lost characters or lost gear or whatever, and legendary inventory is showing up at whatever your level is in people. So Sin and I both got like 5 or 6 pieces of legendary gear.
Yeah, I got like 6.
Mm-hmm. In some cases were either pieces that we had and had gotten rid of or lost, or were pieces that we currently had in our inventory just at our current highest level. And I still have to go back and check my other characters because I have 4 other characters.
I did right after we jumped off. It was nothing there for them.
Okay.
Just a moment.
So just make sure you double check that because they started doing the drops yesterday, and but in order to get them, you have to completely close out and go back in order, and your inventory has to be clear. If your inventory is not clear at the time that they send it to you, it stays server side on their end until you clear your inventory. Late, that's not a thing. I'll be okay. Yeah, now that's cool. I know on the weekends that's not a big deal for you, bro. So we'll see what happens. Although, Cuddy, Saturday night is leading into Mother's Day. And the last thing I need is for you to be in trouble that night. Getting ready for
Did he get in trouble last time we was playing?
He said he didn't.
I know, I'm just picking with him.
He said he didn't. So he must not have. All right, listen, we got a lot to talk about. And I can't drag this on anymore trying to pretend we actually waiting for jokes, because we're not really waiting for jokes. So we're gonna talk about Sony and Discord, because that's the thing, especially after the beans we went through like 2 weeks ago, talking about Microsoft and Discord. So we're definitely gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Epic and Apple, because there's a lot of information that seems to be leaking or coming out based on the court documents that are being shown. There's just a very interesting peer into what's happening in the game industry behind the scenes, stuff that we like hear about on the outside, but never kind of get that fly on the wall inside information. So there's some really cool stuff that's happening there. Vault of Glass is coming back to Destiny. We definitely have to discuss that. They announced a new Division game today. With Cuddy in the building, we have to discuss that. So there's things to talk about for sure. We need to get some stuff done in Outriders for sure, though, so we can unlock all the gear that is supposed to be available. So we'll definitely be looking to make that happen. So, Sin?
Yes, sir.
Sony and Discord. How familiar are you with any of this news?
I saw it. I looked into it a little bit, but I'm not like super like familiar with it.
That's cool. I went digging.
I know you did.
So a couple weeks ago we had a discussion because the rumor mills were all over the place about Microsoft looking to purchase Discord outright.
Right.
For somewhere in the realm between $10 and $12 billion. Which is kind of crazy. But at the time, other companies had Discord's valuation listed at somewhere probably closer to like 15 billion. So to a certain extent, Microsoft was sort of undercutting them based on what the offer was, somewhere between 10 and 12 billion. And then that seemed to kind of fall apart about a week and a half ago. And then a couple of days ago, Sony made an announcement to their blog that they were partnering with Discord and actually making a minority investment during their Series H round of funding. Hello, child. So this is interesting. So I mean, listen, we're not going to get too deep into investments and stuff like that. But basically, all that means is that as Discord has basically chosen to go into another round of funding that comes from outside investments in order to keep themselves not afloat, because they're doing well, but to add value to where they currently sit, which means that if they actually do decide to go public, they will be able to go public. Konnichiwa, Jazz. They will be able to go public, and they basically their stock will be worth more. Is essentially what that means, assuming they go public. And so usually when something like this, most companies, well, I don't want to say most companies, not a lot of companies get to round H of funding. They do an A, a B, and a C round of funding. If it's a startup, there might be like an angel investment or something like that up front.
Right.
And then during those other rounds of funding, what's up, Heather? They will begin to get other outside investors who believe in the product or whatever to start doing to put some investments in. And so Sony made the decision to put some money in. Now, we don't know how much. They didn't release that information. But we do know that based on what Sony put in their blog, that they intend to begin to try to tie 1000% fam. What's up? Long time.
What's up?
That they will begin to start trying, like Sony actually said that their engineers are already, as well as Discord's engineers, are already working on trying to tie Discord into the PlayStation. So it will run and work well on console. What that ends up looking like, we don't know. Right now, they're saying early 2022. But they'll have more news coming at some point. Where are you on this, Sin?
I'm cool with it. The more we start to use Discord and get into it a little more and, figure out the ins and outs of it, I was looking forward to see it come to consoles, whether it's Microsoft or PlayStation. So kudos, to them for, jumping on this. I'm excited to see what the integration looks like when they finally have it out on the systems and start rolling out to the public and the people and seeing how it's working. I'm actually really excited, looking forward to that. So I'm all for it. Because I think it's a step in the right direction for them. Like we've been saying, like, y'all got to start doing stuff. Y'all got to start letting us know what's happening behind the scenes. Y'all got to start playing catch up and everything. And this sounds like a step in the right direction for them.
I mean, I think right there what Marcus is saying, 100%. I need that because the new chat system is trash. We've heard so much.
Yeah.
My man said, I catch the shows late because of work and the kids, but I definitely stayed up on that Spoiler Boys. Hey, listen, I think we're doing a Spoiler Boys for a bit. I don't think we can avoid it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Y'all look out for that.
Yeah, hey, listen, season 2.
My mother started watching Invincible today.
Ooh!
That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is.
You know how far she got?
She was on episode 4.
Okay.
I told her. Started today. So Jazz, I mean, so here's the thing. I don't think it's necessarily that people are running into issues specifically with the chat. They just changed a lot. It's much more complicated than it had been for people on PS4. PS5, they made adjustments to the way the chat system worked and how you link with people and pull people into groups and stuff like that just were really causing issues. And it was a thing that people were reporting on, I guess, when the PS5s really first started to roll out and people were just starting to kind of get into it. Yeah. Changes like that are the kinds of things that, like, once you get used to them, you know what I mean? It's kind of like hating. It's kind of like being a PlayStation player and hating the Xbox UI. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an Xbox player, when you like the PlayStation UI is garbage. If you're a PlayStation player, the Xbox
The
UI
other
is
one's
garbage, right?
garbage,
So
yeah.
you get used to it, right? When you get used to it and you know where everything is, and it's easy to find stuff, like it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it takes some getting used to, but there are certainly more hoops to jump through than what they were before.
It's a
What streaming
Amazon
service?
exclusive, fam.
Yeah, that's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Invincible. You need to check that out,
8
bro.
episodes. Go treat yourself to the greatness that is Invincible.
That joint is a problem. Yeah, so I mean, again, I think this is a step in the right direction, but I think it's the kind of thing that needs to happen for consoles. Period.
Yeah.
Nintendo needs this probably more than
Facts.
anybody else.
100%.
I'm gonna actually jump out on a limb and say that Nintendo, the sheer growth in the Switch and the number of people using it and the way that you have to jump through hoops to play together and talk to each other and use a separate phone app or whatever, I really think that the Switch pushed way more people to Discord and introduced way more people to Discord than anything else. And obviously people were using it for PC. So I feel like mostly those PC players were the most familiar with Discord, obviously, already.
Yeah.
From the console side of things, it certainly blew up, obviously, last year, for sure.
Of course,
People's ability to video chat and stuff like that, just like Zoom did. But the Switch is probably at like the forefront of, and we gotta have a way to talk. You know what I mean, to each other.
Yeah.
I certainly think that all three platforms could benefit from integration. Like right now, if you're on Discord, at most you can see what your friends on Discord are doing on like Xbox Live. You can see what game they're playing, stuff like that. But outside of that, you know, having some level of integration that just pulls Discord directly in, I just think makes it easier. I really do. Now I will say that I think that there are steps that are already in the right direction with certain headsets, like the new Xbox headset. Again, you can have it connected to multiple things at once. So it's connected to the console. You can get your audio out of the console and still hear, like when we play and I use the headset, I can hear the gameplay in the headset, but I can also hear y'all through Discord in the headset because it's connected to the PC as well. So there are certain things that are beginning to happen, but I think that Discord is going to become more ubiquitous, and may even be at some point end up being an all-in-one solution, for consoles. You know what I mean, as a whole.
I can see that in the future.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that in the future. Yeah. All the consoles integrating it.
When they add this function, what is the expectation? Like, how do you think they'll integrate it?
I don't want to see a watered down version of it per se. Like, I want to keep the audio, I want to keep the video chat, all that kind of stuff. I want to keep it all there, just kind of moved over. I'm just slightly afraid to water it down for consoles to a certain point. I don't know. I'm
not sure how you do the video chat part of it, right? Like in the old UI for Xbox, remember they had that like snap system, and you could watch like YouTube videos or whatever on the screen while you play the game and stuff like that or whatever. Like in that system, you could maybe do something like that. I'm not sure how you integrate video, you know what I mean, in with chat when you're playing. And I think part of what they're going to have to do is figure out what the best way is to do it without people. I guess the big thing is, you know, for a lot of people, they're not sitting in front of their PC or have an additional laptop or something like that in front of them when they sit down in the living room or in the bedroom and they play games on their TV. So they use their phone, right? They use Discord on their phone. They may not even be using the video. They're just using the audio.
Yeah, most people use it for audio.
So I guess that my what I'm imagining is that if your PlayStation account will get tied to your Discord account, so that whatever name you have on Discord and whatever name you have on PSN will be linked, so that you can choose to chat directly through PlayStation, or you can,
PlayStation or Discord.
yeah, or you can like launch the Discord app, almost like launching like Spotify or something. How like
background, yeah,
whatever run in the background, it'll run in the background, at least for your audio. Which I feel like is just what they're gonna have to do. I don't know how else you do it.
No, that makes the most sense.
I think it's a smart move for Sony.
Absolutely.
To get this minority stake, I think it's important for them. I think they need it more than Microsoft does. Microsoft as a company would probably have done more with Discord if they bought it, because
Absolutely,
yeah, they would just integrate it in other ways and do more with it. But it's also totally possible that Microsoft makes an investment too. So how do you think Microsoft responds to this? Do they is it necessary? Do they need to?
I don't think they need to. I think they probably wanted to. Like you said, they have their hands in so many pots besides just gaming. They could use it for a lot of stuff. We talked about them integrating it into teams and all sorts of stuff. So I would like to see them still throw their hat in the ring and get involved with it, so that way it can come to Xbox as well and see it used for all these other things. I don't think it's the last we hear from Microsoft about it. I don't think so.
There's something to me that makes me feel like there will be some sort of announcement at E3 that has something to do with, something along the lines. But, we'll have to see. You know what I mean? Like, I think it makes sense for Sony to make the statement up front and make it now. Partially because they've been so quiet.
Yeah, agreed.
And because they also don't have a planned presence at E3. They just announced a bunch more people showing up at E3. What's that perk? Xbox definitely needs the capability to stream directly to YouTube or Twitch. It's seriously lacking. What? I think I ain't joking. Okay. Joseph isn't gonna make it, y'all. It's okay though. Everything's good. Yeah, I mean, the ability to stream directly to Twitch is not enough. It's not in this day and age.
Agreed.
They do need another form of
you need to be able to stream on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff.
You can stream straight to Twitch. Like they can go straight to Twitch. They don't go straight to YouTube, but they definitely can go straight to Twitch. Little jokes. Absolutely. Yeah, you can't go straight to Twitch. The YouTube thing is definitely something they need to work on. They need to make that happen. And it probably didn't happen because they were so focused on what was Beam, then became Mixer. And when Mixer was gone, they kind of even sent their own people back to Twitch, or whatever, moved people's accounts or whatever over there. So that's probably why that hasn't happened, but it does need to happen. I would imagine that it's coming, but you're right. They do need to find a way to make it so that you can do that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I if I had to guess, I'd say that Microsoft will have some form of Discord integration. I would imagine they're going to try to have it out this year. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Is that they're going to try to have something, even if they have to find some other way to do it besides what. I think it will take more work to integrate it into what Sony does because of the architecture of what the PlayStation platform is. I think it'll be a little bit easier for Microsoft to do it. But we'll just have to see.
I think we'll find out sooner rather than later too about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they. Well, let me hold on. Now they need it. They do need it. They need it. They need it because Sony will have it, so they'll need it. Period. Little Joe's got that smile just makes you laugh. No reason before he say something. That's just because whatever's getting ready to come out of his face is gonna be little. It's
gonna be little.
It's gonna be little. Yeah, I think they do need it, and I think that while Nintendo needs it, it's not anywhere near as big of a deal for them because they're Nintendo. Like we've just gotten to the point where we let Nintendo do whatever they want.
Yeah, Nintendo just Nintendo's.
We just put up with it. Like they're not. I feel like we feel like they're not capable, so we don't. Like our expectations are lower. Like we have high expectations for their games as a developer. You know what I'm saying, and what they release. Right. Like high expectations for that. Everything else about Nintendo, the expectations are dumb low. We know they're gonna do something stupid that like that's kind of neat, but nobody really needs that, right? So let's just sell people a bunch of cardboard. You know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah,
like, okay, Nintendo, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a sad sort of Fisher Price. Like, you know, like there's like a lot of respect for Fisher Price toys because they're introductory to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like that. Lil Jokes wouldn't know what we're talking about. That first like Fisher Price like recorder or whatever that's like solid and built for kids to bang it around, but it actually teaches you how to operate.
Could knock somebody out with that thing. Yeah,
it's almost like those. Remember, hey, listen. I remember those skates that you could put on top of your sneakers, dog. Like big plastic nasty skates that
them jokes were some of the most durable things.
That's Nintendo. Like straight up, like so. It's like we don't. It's like our expectation level is just so low. Like we do complain about it to a certain extent. Like why can't Nintendo get their internet stuff together? And how come they just, you know, whatever? Why don't they just partner with somebody or pay somebody? Like we know Nintendo got stupid money sitting in the bank. Just pay somebody to do it right. You know what I mean? There's a certain amount of stubbornness.
I'd be shocked to see them add Discord to it. The way they just, I want it, but I'd be shocked because it's such a Nintendo thing. Like, no, you need friend codes, all kind of stuff, and we want to keep all that toxicity kind of down to a minimum. So we just don't want people just to be able to talk with anybody on Discord on our platforms.
The toxicity that they cause, like they will be like, we'll put Discord on there, but you need a password. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there had to be some kind of password protected Nintendo version of Discord or something that is just like, hey, dog, nobody like nobody's gonna watch that anyway.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, like I just don't. It's. Yeah, I don't know. We just give them a pass. I think we just decided they're not capable. You know what I mean? They are like the last Toys R Us. You know what I mean? Like they're. Yeah, like you just.
It's Nintendo.
Exactly. Nintendo gonna Nintendo. Like that's
all the time.
It's still weird when Nintendo does something that's slightly adult. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Even if it's a game they put in the system, like, oh, Nintendo's going there with that. Okay.
It never really seems to work out though on their system.
It doesn't.
Like it's not like The Witcher 3 isn't on the Switch and isn't sexually charged. You know what I'm saying? Like as a game. It's there. But nobody cares. Like people are so busy Animal Crossing. You know what I mean? Like it just feels they are still, to me, looked at. They're a toy company. Like that's what they are. They're a toy company. And they're still like, I think they still look at it like toys. Like they still make things. You know what I mean? I don't. It's like y'all can't. Y'all just got the 1080p. Like
that one still baffles me. Like, no, people aren't really gonna do HD like that. Yeah. And then within the same year, it's an HD TV in everybody's house.
Right. Yeah. Where adults game like kids. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like we game like kids everywhere. But yes, Nintendo is more. It just is. Like I feel like people let themselves go a little bit more and just be like, they're playing a game. Like if it there's a certain level of equivalence to like playing a certain kind of game like on your phone, like a farming game, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. And then having like Animal Crossing on the Switch, and it's like because it's on the Switch, it's almost like if Animal Crossing existed on the Xbox or on the PlayStation, it wouldn't sell.
I don't feel like it would either.
Even if it was portable, like you could put Animal Crossing on like if they announced a new Vita and there was Animal Crossing on that joint, it does nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like there's something specifically Nintendo about it,
Yeah.
and the fact that it is Nintendo, that people just go, oh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get it.
Like even there, like Metroid is a dark, kind of a gritty shooter with like aliens stuff, and you still, when you look at it, it still looks like, oh, it's a cute little nasty gritty shooter.
It's all their games for the most part. They all have that certain feel and look to them. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like their specific IPs, it just feels like. So
even though people say like, yeah, we want Zelda on the Xbox and PlayStation. I mean, you may want it, but everybody's going to buy it on the Nintendo platform because that's just where it feels right at. That's where it feels home at. Like it doesn't. Even though when I say it doesn't feel right, like grabbing a Xbox joystick to pick up and play Mario 64 or something like that. Like it just feels kind of weird.
I've done it. It don't feel right. It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? I've done it. Realistically, I don't see Discord ever hitting Nintendo. Because for them, I think they just look at it and be like, people are already doing it. Like, why would we pay them, or you know what I'm saying, or invest in them or whatever to do something like that when people are already using it and they're using it on our platform and we selling the way we selling? Like we don't need chat.
They need to start faking markets to give me No More Heroes, all them joints on the Switch.
Even No More Heroes, bro, still looks like a Nintendo joint. Like it still looks like a Wii game. It just does. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have that. I mean, probably the grittiest game ever. I mean, Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 4, GameCube, probably the greatest.
Yeah.
And that association is just because it was exclusive for a moment. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like, why is it here? But okay. You know what I mean? With arguably the worst controller of all the controllers available, the GameCube controller is.
GameCube controller is only good for one game. That is Smash Brothers. That is it.
Facts.
That is it. I got like 3 of them sitting right here just for Smash.
That's the only reason why you should ever touch that joint. Don't use it for anything. I mean, not the Nintendo. Nintendo's always really good at making games that make great use of the way they build their controllers and their systems. Like that's just that's what they do. I don't know. It works. Yeah, I don't see Discord coming there. I definitely do see it eventually hitting the Xbox. I think it's just about timing and how that all works out. I want to talk about Epic and Apple for a second.
Yes, I dabble in Smash for fun. No, I'm not good enough to be going up against people, but whatever, for it's and giggles. Why not?
Yeah.
But I ain't doing no competitions. I'd say that right now. That ain't happening.
Nah, but will you play Frosty?
Oh yeah, knock off the stage. Yeah, all day.
Yeah. Yeah. She just wants to play.
All right, we can figure that out.
Do it. Yeah, buddy. GameCube controller only meant for Smash. Too perfect, bro.
Yes, only meant for Smash. I got the little outlet sitting right here to plug up full at the same time.
Talking that trash, dog. He's nice. I don't know what that means. Smash Brothers is garbage. I ain't nothing to do with it. I don't want no parts of it. Smash Brothers is the Mayo of fighting games.
Stop that. Stop that bullshit. You're not going to do that here with me.
Look at this thing. I mean, whatever. Hey, KB, listen. Y'all want to go down this rabbit hole right now? Y'all want to do this?
Nah. We ain't about to do this right now.
I don't believe that at all. I absolutely believe you have wanted to. Oh man, Yeah, nah. That joint. Which Smash Brothers is the best one?
That I'm not a big enough like. I know some people prefer Melee and whatever. Like, look, just give me the newest one with the most characters. I'm happy. Like, I'm good.
Okay.
So I'm not one of them type of people.
Oh, okay. Now we talking Discord. Okay. Cool. Cool. Epic and Apple.
Yeah, man, break this down. I know it's popping right now. I've not looked into too much of what's happening, but I know you've been all in on it. So what's going on here with some of
I'm
these documents
trying,
coming
bro.
out?
Listen, let me start by saying there is so much happening with this that like it's crazy. Essentially, Epic is trying to prove that Apple has a monopoly.
Right.
Which okay, let me just state this. A lot of people don't understand. A monopoly is not inherently illegal. It is okay to have a monopoly. It is how that monopoly is used. And so the fact that the monopoly they have, they are using that store to then keep other people from being able to make money from within their store, and that they cordon off other people because they can sell to so many people within that marketplace at no cost, while everybody else has to pay them a fee to be in that field is kind of what they're trying to prove. And personally, I think it's an uphill battle. Because everybody signed up for it. You know what I mean? But but technically, again, we talked a little bit on Tuesday about how there's a class action suit now against Apple because they use the word buy when you make purchases from their digital store. And it's like, but they have the ability to revoke your purchases from you. I do think no matter how this turns out, it is absolutely going to change the industry and how that business is done and so
100%,
forth.
yeah,
Even
100%.
if it's just in the wording that has to be used.
Especially all these documents coming out, like people starting to get hip and learn stuff and see things like, okay.
Slim, here's the thing. So there were documents that came out that are like, here's the thing I don't think anybody saw coming. So while I do think like there have been emails that are between like Epic and Apple, obviously, right? But there are emails that are coming out between like Epic and Sony. There are emails and information that is coming out on Microsoft's end of things, like that Microsoft actually has a team that does reviews on games, like everybody's games. Like they released into court evidence a document from Microsoft that was their review of The Last of Us.
I did see that.
And like how much they loved it, how much Xbox needs something like that. Like the one bad thing they said about it is the same thing I say about it. Like the gunplay is garbage, but like everything else about it in terms of storytelling, what it looks like, how they set it up, like everything is like perfect. And like Microsoft needs something like that. Why that ends up being something that comes out in a case like this, I think is just about how much what's happening touches all of these specific platforms. One of the most recent things that came out is how Sony is apparently charging for crossplay. So there was an email that was sent to Sony saying, matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna just pull it up. Give me a second.
I think I saw this one, and whoever it is paying for it, and they're like paying for it like out of their own pocket to have it done or something like that.
They like have to, bro. So on The Verge, so The Verge did an article. It's no secret that Sony held back PS4 cross-platform play for years, but new confidential documents and emails revealed just how much Sony was against letting people play the same games with their friends on other platforms. Sony initially blocked cross-platform play for both Rocket League and Minecraft, despite Nintendo and Microsoft both enabling players to play across Xbox and Switch. The issue really blew up when Sony blocked Fortnite crossplay in 2018, and players were angry. It now appears that Sony may have been holding out to offset potential revenue losses. So in the months leading up to Sony's decision to block Fortnite crossplay in 2018, Epic Games had pleaded with Sony to enable crossplay. Emails in the Epic Games versus Apple case reveal.
Still one of my
I
greatest video game moments ever.
This is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like
That was one of the greatest.
so this says, I can't think of a scenario where Epic doesn't get what we want. That possibility went out the door when Fortnite became the biggest game on PlayStation, said Joe Creener, Epic's vice president of business development. So basically, they sent an email, and the email says, we love working with PlayStation, and we want this to be a win-win. The longer this drags out, it will be less so. I can't think of a scenario where Epic doesn't get what we want. That possibility went out the door when Fortnite became the biggest game on PlayStation. So here's what I propose. So essentially at this point, Epic was kind of, waving in Sony's face like, listen, we're the biggest game on your platform. Like, we're bigger than every other game you have. So you kind of have to just do what we want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it says, here's what I propose. 1, we give you the data you're asking for, plus the marketing data ask. 2, Epic deeply integrates Sony's esports API into Unreal Engine 4 as an engine level feature. We market and advertise it as a first-class citizen of the engine, maybe an E3 announcement, and we support it in Fortnite. 3, we announce crossplay in conjunction with Sony. Epic goes out of its way to make Sony look like heroes. You get to pick the when, where, and how. 4, Epic brands its E3 presence with PlayStation. We're planning a 100-player celebrity pro-am with huge after party. Budgets I've seen are huge, and it will be the biggest event at E3. Maybe we announce with all the celebs on stage, new partnership, plus. 5, Epic's willing to explore more items. Maybe we commit to a game at the launch of your next VR platform. 6, PlayStation Plus. Maybe we do something extra special for a month. Offer a unique character or something highly valuable to drive PlayStation Plus adoption even more. 7, Epic extends the Sony company-wide UE4 license. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but your license to use UE4 expires in May 2019. That license has some of the best terms we've ever offered for UE4. So let's make this a huge win for us all. Epic's not changing its mind on the issue, so let's just agree on it now. That's what he sent to them. So
that's what Epic said to Sony.
That's what Epic sent to Sony.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? Before we even go any further, what like?
I don't see a problem with it. They sound like they was, look, let's make this happen. Like, here's everything we're willing to bring to the table and do to make this a thing. Like, let's just do it. I didn't necessarily see a problem with anything they was talking about.
I mean, it does sound like Sony's getting a really, really sweet deal out of that. Yeah. As a whole. We're gonna offer you characters. Let's do PlayStation. We're gonna bring y'all out as the, you know what I mean, as the end all be all.
We're gonna do this whole tournament run. This everything's running off of Sony joints. Like marketing, all that kind of stuff. Like
pulling out all the stops.
Yeah,
which in and of itself is extremely expensive. Like, let's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So at the time, Gio Corsi, who is no longer at Sony, so let's just. Sony Senior Director of Developer Relations dismissed the idea of crossplay, noting that, quote, cross-platform play is not a slam dunk, no matter the size of the title. A clear reference to Epic's flex about Fortnite's dominance on PlayStation. Quote, as you know, many companies are exploring this idea, and not a single one can explain how cross-console play improves the PlayStation business, unquote. So, they basically said, nah, dog. We not. If you can tell us how this benefits us and our business, that's cool. But you're not the only company that's trying to do this. There are other companies who want to do cross-platform. Nobody can explain to us how it is good for our business, which to me makes perfect sense, realistically, right? Because if you are trying to drive PlayStation business up. You want more people playing on PlayStation. The minute you say crossplay, people don't have to buy a PlayStation. Right? So if anything, it makes it so that not necessarily people are less likely to buy a PlayStation, but people who don't already have one are less likely to get one. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, so for them, cross-platform equals a loss because there's business that they I would imagine that their numbers are saying we expect to have this many more people buy a PlayStation in this time frame. If we open up the cross-platform play and people no longer have to come to us, how is that beneficial to us? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily that they're not saying it doesn't benefit players, but it doesn't necessarily benefit PlayStation players. I mean, it does benefit PlayStation players only because it means that PlayStation players have more people to play with because they can play with people on any platform.
Right.
But from a PlayStation standpoint, because let's just keep it a buck. Like, these are cool. Like, they don't care about you, really. You know what I mean? Like, how does that net them money? How is it good for PlayStation's business? And they're like, nobody can answer that. Everybody wants to do it. And it might be good for their business. How is that good for our business? You know what I mean? As the platform. What's that, fam? So, but wouldn't you say that's stopping the inevitable? Yes and no. Yes and no. Like at the time when it was happening, we were having discussions at the time on this show saying it's going to happen. Like, here's the thing: cross-platform play was already happening between PC, Xbox, and Nintendo. So part of what was happening is Sony starting to look like the bad guy, which to a certain extent they are, right? When you look at what's happening, they are. No, it's not necessarily great for your business, but now you're starting to look bad, which could also be really bad for your business, right?
You gotta adjust your business model.
So here's the thing I find the most interesting. So then it says, but as of August 2019, it appears that Sony may have found a worthy argument, a way to potentially siphon off money from its competitors in exchange for access to PlayStation players. So the email correspondence doesn't reveal where the issue ultimately ended up, but a document entitled Cross-Platform Policy Requirements and Process from August 2019, after Sony's change. So eventually Sony did, as we all know, they do allow crossplay now. Says it reveals how Sony may approach crossplay, a cross-platform revenue share, forcing publishers to pay Sony a royalty whenever PlayStation players contribute more than a certain percentage to the bottom line of cross-platform game to offset the reduction in revenue from Sony enabling crossplay. So, come here a second. Let me grab this image. I may have it already, but I'm just gonna grab it. Never mind, it's a web file. I can't. So basically, what this says is cross-platform revenue share. All right, this is going to get a little, it's business and money, but just hear me out. So if the proportion of the PSN revenue share divided by PS4 gameplay share for a title is less than 0.85 in any given month, the partner will pay SIE a royalty to offset the reduction in revenue. The partner has no obligation to pay SIE a royalty in months where PSN revenue share divided by PS4 gameplay share is greater than 0.85.
So you gotta pay out if it's over that number.
Correct.
Okay.
Both PSN revenue share and PS4 gameplay share are determined by the information provided by the partner in the data requirements. So essentially, so they have an example that's there. That is basically cross-platform revenue across all cohorts times PS4 gameplay share minus the PSN revenue times 15%. So if in 1 month the cross-platform revenue is $1 million, and the PSN revenue is 900,000. The PSN revenue share is 90%. Okay, so the PSN gameplay, the PS4 gameplay share is 95%. They don't pay them anything. Okay, but in month 2, if the cross-platform revenue is $1 million and the PSN revenue is 600,000, the PSN revenue share is only 60%. And the PSN gameplay share is 95%. So there are still more people playing on PlayStation than there are anywhere else, but the revenue share dips below that percentage. Then they have to pay PlayStation $52,500. 15% of the 600,000. Is that, you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So payment. The partner shall provide each SIE territory, so SIE America, Europe, Japan, Asia, with monthly reports of any such PS4 revenue share, and shall pay the applicable SIE territory invoice within 30 days of the date of the invoice. Payments commence on the month the title exceeds or is expected to exceed 500,000 in PSN gross revenue within a 12-month period. SIE have the right to audit partners' books and records related to the cross-platform revenue share in accordance with Section 151.3 of the GDPA. So it literally says highly confidential, attorney's eyes only.
Nope.
But it's court, bro. So here's what's crazy. I never in a million years thought Epic suing Apple, not even necessarily so that they can force Apple to give up more than 30% of their, you know what I'm saying, of what they get when something sells on their store, but just so that they have the right to have their own store so people can buy V-Bucks
right from them
through their own store. That's it. Never in a million years did I think this was going to lead to an email that shows
Sony's
Sony is digging in them pockets, bro. Like they sound like Debo.
I feel like Sony's sitting there looking at the trial like, hey, look, man, we got to send somebody to shut these dudes up, man. Like they are spilling all the tea.
Out there talking, knocking, listen, hitting Apple like that. Hey, go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead and run that. Yeah. Sony show up at the first of the month. Go ahead and run that.
Listen, let me tell you something, Cuddy. I have graphics cards. Listen, I have graphics cards, bro.
Hey, look, I feel you could add the focus on that one.
Real talk. All it means is that if a game is on, say, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, and the company makes $1 million, and Sony's pot of that, if what Sony provides, if 900,000 of that came from PlayStation's platform, from PlayStation Network, and then you're fine. But if that game made $1 million on all 3 platforms combined, but PlayStation only made $600,000, and they were still like 95% of the people who were playing were coming from PlayStation 4, then they got to pay them a royalty because they lost money because we let y'all do crossplay. That's what it means. They also have a clause in there, I didn't get to that, like they have to have the ability to turn it off at any time they want to. Like they could just turn off the...
Wait, Sony can just cut it off if they feel like it?
Yeah. Hey, dog, it's disgusting. But like, here's the thing. From a business standpoint, it makes absolute perfect sense. I totally get it. And I did then. It still doesn't change the fact that they seem like the bad guy. Is that?
I hear you.
It's a shakedown.
Sounds crazy.
Am I, you know what I'm saying? It's a shakedown, right? But I think the purpose of this is to show how much control Sony has, because Sony has the biggest platform, right? That even though Fortnite is not just the biggest game on their platform, it's the biggest game in the world. Sony is still able to force them to pay, and they had to agree to it. So right now, the only reason why you can play Fortnite cross-platform if you're on a PlayStation is because Epic has agreed and they have had to pay Sony this money. It's because they agreed to pay them this money. I'm not, like business-wise, it makes sense. Consumer-wise, as a me, a PlayStation guy, it doesn't make sense. I mean, doesn't it though? Because if you're a PlayStation guy, they want to keep you a PlayStation guy. If they allow you to feel like you don't have to purchase games on PlayStation in order to be able to play with your friends, to play with other people. If you decided for whatever reason, 1,000% fam, you was getting an Xbox. Let me say this. Let me throw something out here. I'd be willing to wager that if you get an Xbox Series X and you start playing on Xbox, you will stop playing your PlayStation unless they put out, listen to me, unless they put out an exclusive title you feel like you have to have. It is like if you can scour YouTube for people who are like, yo, I've been a PlayStation brand my whole life. This Game Pass, this backwards compatibility, this FPS boost, my old games, I still have them all. It's really starting to take a toll. This is the kind of thing that's
what we say.
It's
what we say. Go back and keep people in your ecosystem. You know what I mean? Like that's what Microsoft is doing, and that's honestly that's the approach that Sony's gonna have to start taking in the future. We need to get people in our ecosystem by doing all these other things, like with PlayStation Plus, you get your free games a month or whatever, dropping some DLC content for games and all that kind of stuff. Look, literally copy and paste what Microsoft is doing on those fronts, and they'll start to pull ahead.
Here's the thing that's tricky about that. We say that a lot, right? That Microsoft is doing a great job of
out
and keep people in their ecosystem, right? They're creating an ecosystem, keep people in it.
Yes.
Sony did the exact same thing. But the way that Sony has managed to keep people in their ecosystem is through their IP. There's nowhere else to play God of War. There's nowhere else to play Last of Us. There's nowhere else to play Spider-Man. There's nowhere else. Like if you want those games, you need to be in their ecosystem, even though their ecosystem doesn't care what you bought last gen.
And also the fact that your PlayStation Plus games you get for free. If you stop using PlayStation Plus, you can't play those games anymore.
It's one of those things that does keep you in their ecosystem. It is a different way. It is a more old school way, a more tried and true business solid way of keeping people who are invested in PlayStation, love the controller. You know what I mean? One other controller, can't wait for the next one to come out. One of the things, let me tell you something. From a business standpoint, one of the things that Sony has done better than anybody else is keep it very simple. The naming convention. It's just the next one.
Yeah.
You already know what the next PlayStation is called.
6.
Don't you? Like there's no guessing, there's no trying to figure out what does this mean? What are you trying to tell me? Like
it's not as confusing as
conventions are terrible.
Yeah. It's very confusing. Terrible. 1S, Series X, 1X, like can get very confusing which one to get. Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's a reason behind that. There is still a marketing plan behind the X. Like you can't call the next Xbox the Xbox 2 when the next PlayStation is the PlayStation 3 because it automatically makes the PlayStation seem like it's better because it's 3.
Yeah.
So while they come up with this whole thing of like, because it's all encompassing and you can do TV and blah, blah, all this other stuff for 360, the 360 is there because it has 3 in it. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. It just feels like you're not getting something less because of the naming convention. So you have to make that adjustment as you come in. And really the only reason why they could afford to do Xbox One as they were doing it is because the 360 did so well. If it hadn't, you got to figure out what you're going to do next and how you're going to make that name stick. So it's still a marketing thing. It's still business. But yeah, listen. Hey, look. They remain a bad guy with that, just get a second job. Let me tell you something. They don't, only because when the Xbox One got announced, Microsoft said the same thing. When they started announcing like DRM and how you share and all that kind of stuff, and people asked about it like right after their E3 conference, literally my man was like, we have a console for people who want all that stuff. It's called the Xbox 360. Y'all get that old joint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was probably one of the most disgusting PR moments I've ever seen in my life. And it's right in line with that. We have a console. Like, if you want a PlayStation 3, get another job. People love us that much. They'll just get another job. It's a certain amount of hubris. Right. Very similar to what the naming conventions you see in iPhone and Android. Eventually, Apple stopped naming iPads. Like, they stopped going up in numbers, and it just became like, here's the new iPad. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, it's just, this is the joint. You know what I'm saying? So, the phones, they still do it, right? And I think that's a little bit different because the market is so different for the phones. Because everybody from the little children to the oldest, you know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. Right. It's not the same thing. Everybody doesn't get an iPad. Everybody doesn't get a MacBook. Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit different. But like that kind of insight into like what they're doing business wise, why they're doing it, how they're doing it is like, it's super interesting to me to think that right now, there's probably still something like that. Like the deal that Epic did with PlayStation for Unreal Engine 5 probably came out of this. Because if you look at what they offered them for Unreal Engine 4 at the time, guarantee you that in some manner, that deal that is probably the deal everybody else has to sign because Epic has the Unreal Engine. They probably did a deal with Sony that allows Sony to have a better deal for any of their studios that are using Unreal Engine than anybody else gets. Period. Right. And that probably keeps them, they're probably still paying out to them for cross-platform play, but not as much as everybody else is. Like, it's probably a different percentage based on that, because they definitely came out with Unreal Engine 5 and tied that joint directly to them and did it during E3 last year, going into the new consoles, period. So there's probably something with that. And I would be willing to wager, based on this information, that as we're seeing certain games that get announced as PlayStation exclusives, I would bet you, especially from third parties, that because they are exclusive to PlayStation, I bet you'll see that they're using Unreal Engine 5, and they are probably benefiting from not having to pay the same access for Unreal Engine 5 because they're doing it through Sony. That Sony is in some way giving them the benefit of having some of that cost come off their bottom line for using Unreal, which in a lot of cases, Unreal you can just use now, but you pay on the back end, right? So right. I would imagine that when you look at something like Final Fantasy 16, which is only being shown right now for Sony, for their consoles, I guarantee you they're using Unreal. I haven't looked it up, but I put money on it that they're using Unreal. And I bet you that somewhere in there, part of the reason why that's happening, part of the reason why you see Sony get some of these exclusives and you're like, what are they offering them? You know what I'm saying? What are they giving them? How much money are they putting up? Like, they don't have Microsoft money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what is Microsoft not doing right? That is whatever. It's probably literally something.
It's probably that. Yeah, that deal that we saw, that we read about. Yeah. So,
what up, Jimmy?
Let's put the clock up to how long he stays there before he gets kicked out of the car.
What he doing wrong is he's eating the wrong chips. You know what I mean? You need them Maui barbecues, buddy. But what up, Jimmy? Yeah, so I listen, I think that's super interesting. I don't want to dwell on that anymore. There's going to be way more stuff that comes out of this, because this is like the first 3 days of testimony. There's a bunch of other stuff that came out too. Again, like what Cuddy was talking about, that like Xbox was expecting Breath of the Wild 2 to come out last year. Like, it's crazy to get a glimpse inside and see how the companies are looking at other companies and trying to align what they release and when they release it and how they release it in order to decide based on what they think other companies are doing or what they're going to do.
Right.
Appreciate that, Jimmy. Enjoy your time at the gym, man. Don't overdo
I saw the Nintendo thing about like you can't work with the Yakuza or any bad seated element stuff like that. I mean, which makes sense.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah,
It's Nintendo. They can't do that. Can't have that on there.
not too wholesome.
And I want to talk about this Destiny 2, man, real quick. This Vault of Glass.
Yep, it's coming back.
Is Vault of Glass still the best raid in Destiny?
It might be the most. I don't know if it's the best, but I'd say it's probably the most memorable because it was the first one.
I think it's the best one.
It's probably the most memorable because it was the first one, and it had them dope weapons you got out of it that you just don't get anymore. It was just that was a great time.
Do you think they'll put new weapons in this? What do you think they do, or do you think they're gonna put the old weapons? I didn't really read too much into it. I know Jokes was excited about it and he posted something to the team, so I'm talking about it because I don't really care about Destiny anymore. I got off, but I will play some Vault of Glass, bro.
I'll be down to run some Vault of Glass.
Vault of Glass B with the new abilities.
Well, depends on what how they ramp up the difficulty. Because you're right, with these new abilities, it could be a breeze walking through it, but depending on how they tweak it. You say what?
I don't know about a breeze, but yeah, I mean,
these new guns and abilities might make it a breeze.
Breezy anyway.
Oh no, you got your moments in there where it's definitely tough. Yeah.
Yeah, but Vault of Glass, dog, like you could like 3-man that joint.
I'm looking forward to running it when it comes back. Do we see what the date was when they're dropping it?
22nd.
Okay.
So in like another week, that's like next Friday or something like that, or 2 Fridays, or something like that.
I think it's like 2 Fridays out.
2 Fridays from now.
Okay.
Do I care? Yeah. Did this just take over my Friday night Twitch? I hate y'all.
It might have. We might be running some Vault of Glass. We just gotta get a strong 6 together and run it.
That won't be that hard, I think. I'm not doing it.
Nah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you are.
First night.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to get in. Everybody's getting kicked out. It's just not
now that's probably true.
Everybody's getting kicked out.
Them servers gonna be having some issues when they drop Vault of Glass. But I'm down. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I gotta get and check out all the new content anyway they put in recently. So
I hate y'all.
I might do that this weekend.
Division Heartland.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cuddy, I know you saw this announcement, bro.
Free to play.
Free to play, bro.
Yeah. So what do we think it's supposed to be? Like some battle royale type of joint or something like that? Like just something in that vein?
I think it's story based. If I'm not mistaken. Give me a second. I'm gonna tell you.
Let's see. No details have been offered. Says those. Standalone from the main game of the Division series. Release on everything. 2021, 2022 window.
Bro, I mean, they got a whole like they put out a bunch of stuff. Hold on a second. Let me just.
Yeah, I don't think they have announced exactly what type of game it is. Just that it's part of the Division series and it's going to be free to play. Dropping sometime 2021, 2022. That's it right now. Heartland.
Yeah, Heartland. I think it's gonna be dope. Give me a second. Hold on.
I'm messing with the Division, so I'm excited for it. I just want to know what type of game it is.
I mean, it's Division, so like, I feel like you know what kind of game it is.
When it going free to play, like, all right, is it going to be like all Dark Zone, or is it going to be a little bit of both, like the games are? Or?
I'll be real with you, that would piss me off. That would make me so angry.
Everybody's trying to get their battle royale type games and all the type of games out. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried.
Hey, dog, in my Black Panther voice, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want them to do that, dog. I will be so upset. All right, hold on. They got a
Yeah.
whole timeline, bro.
For
I'm out of
Division.
here. So this is
Ooh.
the timeline.
Joe just says new content. The Division novel.
It's a movie. So you see it leads up. So Heartland, new content for Division 2, mobile, novel, and then the Netflix film is in the Tom Clancy The Division universe, bruh.
Okay.
That's where we are. So like when they made the announcement today, I mean, I guess just because it's a new game,
Yeah.
but the fact that they're still planning more Division 2 content,
Yeah. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to be like this is supposed to be console.
Yeah, it says Xbox, PC, PlayStation.
Yeah, and it's like next summer, I think, is what it says. So listen, this is the kind of stuff that starts getting me amped for E3, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this whole universe rollout, leading kind of leading up to the movie type of thing. I like it. It actually makes me want to get back in Division and all right, let's start running some of these contracts and finish out this tower. Ooh.
God.
Yeah. What are you making to like the first 20 floors, I think?
Something like that. That was Extra Life. That was November.
Extra Life, yeah.
That was a long time ago. We got work.
Knock it out. Yeah. We got to climb that tower.
Thoughts on Days Gone. So, okay. Let me start by saying I didn't play it because I wasn't interested in it.
I did.
You played it.
Yeah, I did.
You seemed like it.
I mean, it was solid. I didn't because of course with us, we grab everything that pretty much comes out or whatever. So you're on to the next thing before you get a time to finish it. So I know one of people's complaints was it took too long to get to like where all those hordes start coming at you and stuff like that. I didn't even get up to that part, but it was cool from what I was, playing. I do play, like I have it on my list on my place of these are like some of the games I need to go back and finish ASAP. That's one I'm sitting right there every time I log up.
I mean, here's what I can tell you. I don't know, man. Like having that game come out so close to The Last of Us, even though they claim that The Last of Us is not zombies. I mean, dog is zombies. Call it what you dog is zombies. So let's not. You can use whatever reason you want for why they're infected or how it happened, whatever. But I mean, let's just be real about it. They're zombies. Yeah. And Days Gone basically having that same kind of thing. It's like they could be the same game taking place in just different parts of the country. Like is the way I felt about it. And I know that there was supposed to be some very, very interesting aspects with like the motorcycle and being able to upgrade it and doing all kinds of stuff with that.
That was cool. Yeah.
But the game didn't do well. Like it was received relatively well. It sold okay, but not enough for them to feel like they need a sequel. Like that was one of the big things that happened in that whole debacle a couple weeks ago with Sony, where they were talking about how that studio looks like they just got pulled and they're being moved to like do other stuff, but they're not doing a Days Gone 2. But I think they were giving it away on PlayStation Plus like last month, or maybe they're doing it now. Might be this month.
Probably concerning all the hoopla around it.
Yeah. So I mean, under that circumstance, I wouldn't say it's not worth checking out. I'm sure that there's a good deal on it either way.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth checking out.
Now, if you got a PS5 and you have
whatever it's called,
you should have access to it.
Yeah,
because it's in that PlayStation collection. It should be in that PlayStation collection. Like it's all that PlayStation collection.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Their first party PlayStation 4 games.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it's like God of War. All that stuff is in there. So like, it wouldn't hurt to do that. Hold on. What you talking about? What you talking about, Cuddy? I can start on 490, I think, and pull you in. You get a save point every 10 floors. I mean, listen.
I mean, that's cheating, though, man. Ain't no pump.
It is. I don't got that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to play 80 floors.
I'm just saying.
Of more or less the same thing over and over again, which is part of the problem for me. But like, if you pull us in on 90, I'm not gonna have gear worthy of such a thing. Like, you just
You gotta go clock back in and get sweaty.
It's too hot for that. You know what I'm saying? Springtime, summer's coming.
Hey,
It's too hot for that.
cut on the fans, turn on the AC, get to work.
You would. You love the fans and the AC and the windows open in the wintertime, dog. That's
All
not.
day.
See, that's what
All
I'm saying.
day.
You talking about getting sweaty, but you know what I'm saying? You be windows down in the wintertime. Like, that's not really a thing.
It's a thing when it needs to be a thing.
Well, right now it's a thing on Outriders, and that's what I'm finna do right there. So, having said that, Marcus, where you at? We need to shut this down. So, saying you got 2 jobs. Watch him be like, how I get the link for the
Because I don't have the link there
link
because
tree.
Jokes always throws it in. I be moving over to Patreon.
Man. Oh, buddy, bro. I got you, dog. Hilarious.
So you here finishing grinding these hunts.
You running?
What you run, Marcus?
CT15s, right? All right, y'all. There's the link tree. Y'all know the drill. If you're following us in one spot and you're not following us in the other, we would greatly appreciate it if you did just that. You know what? Look, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're going and check this out on YouTube, we greatly appreciate if you just hit that little hit that little thumbs up joint. You know what I mean, for us or whatever. That helps us out for sure. Y'all make sure y'all check us out on Patreon. Spoiler Boys thing, man, is getting a little out of hand, and I think we're gonna have to figure out another way to get some of that. I think it's gonna come there first. We are working on some other content just for Patreon. And honestly and realistically, we're probably gonna do another tier, like a higher tier, because it's gonna be necessary. But that is a little further down the line. So yeah, greatly appreciate y'all. Sin, if you would do your job, since I did Joe's job.
All right, so let's shout out our top tier patrons. Started with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Deutsch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
And that is a fact. That is an absolute fact. We really do. We appreciate all the patrons. Y'all are just at the top, and we love y'all. So here's the deal. Next week is going to be a busy week. So tomorrow night, second extension.
Yep.
8:30 on Twitch.
Yep.
Monday? No, not this Monday. 2 Mondays from now. So next week, Tuesday, we will have Penelope Gaylord on, who is a brilliant artist and illustrator. She's going to be on with us for Loading Snacks Weekly. And we just want to make sure we highlight her. We're highlighting some other folks that are good friends of ours for Asian Americans Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So y'all make sure y'all check us out Tuesday, regular time. Thursday, we'll be back with cutscenes. Next week, we start our E3 predictions.
All right.
That will definitely be interesting. We will follow that with another Twitch on that following Friday. The following Monday, I will be guesting on Uncanny Nerd on their YouTube, Twitch, and so forth. So what they have been doing for the past, I guess, 20 some odd weeks, they've been going back and recapping, doing what they call 5 Up, 3 Down, where they have gone back and rewatched all the films from the MCU. And they have the last movie this Monday. So the following Monday, I will be on to help facilitate their top 10 MCU. So that's at 8:00 on Uncanny Nerds, Twitch, and YouTube.
Okay.
Tuesday, we are being joined again by another artist for Loading Snacks Weekly. And then Thursday, another episode of Cutscenes, followed by another Twitch, which I guess now, since the 22nd, might be Vaulted Glass.
Might be Vaulted Glass. We'll see.
In the meantime, we're prepping and doing interviews with people. We have virtual Comic-Con coming up. That's June
17th, 18th, 19th.
17th, 19th.
No, 18th, 19th,
18th, 19th, 20th.
Yeah.
So we are recording interviews and stuff like that to be shown during that time. We are doing a panel that will go live then, but we'll be live before that because we want people in the chat for that. So we have some people that are coming together to do another Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel with us. I will be, well, the plan is that I will be helping to facilitate a cosplay photography panel also for that. And we will also be playing our regular Friday night Twitch at 8:30 will also be housed on Virtual Comic-Con. And we might try to pull some people in, man. We might end up playing Among Us. I hate y'all, but that
that might could be the move.
You know, because I have a problem with y'all list. Okay. Oh, you got a problem. Hey, listen, I don't have no control over what their list is gonna be. I don't have any control. I'm just gonna help facilitate it. Look how excited Frosty is about Among Us. So that probably automatically means
we still got friction over. We still got friction over here with load snacks from that between Jokes and Gage.
No, we don't. There's no friction. There's no friction. It's simple. If y'all don't already know, Jokes did it. I don't care. Let me tell y'all something. If they let me kill people, I'm killing Jokes. I don't care about none of the rest of them. Killing Jokes. So when Jokes dies, he's automatically.
I was about to say, hey, Frosty, from now on, whenever Jokes dies the first time around, it was Gage that did it.
That's what it's going. And I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like I'll lose. I'm just. It's him. And listen, every time we play, I don't care who I think did it. I don't care where they are. I'm just gonna vote for him. I don't care, dog. I'm voting for Slim. It's over. Oh, man.
I need to share that clip out again. That was too funny. It's over now. Jokes swore up and down. It was
Slim. Hey, listen. The funny thing about that clip is looking at Zayn's face sitting next to me. When literally you can see on her face like you was a liar, dog. Like she like if I had been.
I'm just sitting there crying because me and Click out here murdering everybody, and Jokes is just selling it.
So hard, bro. Nah, I saw that dude go.
I said I'm gonna sit back and let him preach to the choir. Just let him do his thing.
No, you didn't, dog. Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah, we might play some Among Us because the airship is available. We might have to run some airship, but I do think it'd be cool to play something that, you know what I'm saying, like a bunch of people can jump in and play. I would ideally though, I might not be opposed to playing something like Uno.
You know what I'm thinking? I got that with the dub we gotta test out.
Oh yeah, we do. You know what? That's because we were talking about doing one of those other games where you have to like guess, like try to figure out what they do. And I do think that'll still be dope. But what the dub is probably gonna be the move. If you're not familiar with What the Dub, y'all look it up. It's basically like Mystery Science Theater 3000, where you get clips of old movies and y'all get to like dub over, like say what it is that they're saying in it. I think that joint might be the move. What the Dub is probably the move for that. Again, action packed. Still trying to prep for BlurredCon. There's a lot happening, and somewhere in between there, I have a graduation, and like there's a lot happening. So, with that said. Once again, we greatly appreciate all of you for being here with us. You could be anywhere in the world, and I'm sure some of y'all are. Some of y'all are probably listening to this while y'all are doing something else, and that's perfectly okay. As a matter of fact, let me know in the Patreon and or in the chat whether or not you all think we should go ahead and go back to doing straight audio for these, or pulling the audio from these and doing and dropping podcasts. We were doing that a long time ago. And we've been thinking about it and trying to figure out how we should do it and whether or not we should do both shows or not or whatever. Would absolutely love to hear from y'all about whether or not y'all think that's a thing. If you guys would want to consume it that way, it's probably going to happen either way, but we would like to get some feedback. We know we'll have to make some minor adjustments to how we call things out that we see. So 1000% fan says definitely, of course, because you had to catch up late anyway. A lot of times you got the kids and the work and stuff like that. So I dig that. So, okay. I mean, that's, we need that kind of information. So
Mark said he would enjoy both.
Okay. We might have to do something like that and then do like a little something extra post-show wise, something like that, and maybe get the audio out to patrons first or something along those lines.
You working on that prep, Marcus?
Got it. Helps me at work when you miss shows. All right. That's a bet. I think again, I was pretty sure we were going to end up having to do it anyway. We might do that. You know what? It might be good to start with E3 this year. I think, if I recall correctly, I think one of the first podcasts we did was E3 predictions. I think that was the first podcast we did. The
That
video
sounds
game
right.
was
That
E3.
sounds right.
I was like 4 years ago or so, something like that. Anyway, all right, y'all. We're gonna let y'all get back to having y'all lives. We're gonna go back to ruining lives and Outriders. With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.